Here's why Daemon's betrayal at Harrenhal changed the entire dance of the dragons. Imagine standing in a grand hall, the air thick with tension, dragons circling overhead, and every word spoken carrying the weight of life and death. In that moment, loyalty and betrayal were two sides of the same coin, and one decision would echo across Westeros for generations. That decision was Daemon Targaryen's betrayal at Harrenhal, a single act that changed the course of the entire dance of the dragons. Today, we're going to explore why this moment was so consequential, the motivations behind Daemon's actions, and how it reshaped the Targaryen civil war forever. To understand the magnitude of Daemon's betrayal, we must first understand the man himself. Daemon Targaryen was never an ordinary prince. He was ambitious, bold, and unafraid to challenge authority, even when that authority came from his own family. He was a dragon rider, a warrior, a strategist, and, above all, a man who believed that power was something to seize decisively. But ambition is a double-edged sword, and in the volatile political climate of Westeros, even a Targaryen prince could turn from ally to betrayer in a heartbeat. Harrenhal itself was more than a castle, it was a symbol of power. Sitting on the banks of the God's Eye, it was a fortress that had seen countless rulers, battles, and betrayals. To control Harrenhal meant influence, leverage, and a foothold in the political chess game that defined the Targaryen dynasty. When Daemon acted at Harrenhal, he wasn't just making a personal choice, he was shifting the balance of power in a war that would determine the future of Westeros. The betrayal was as personal as it was political. Daemon had been trusted by Rhaenyra Targaryen, the heir to the Iron Throne, as a partner, ally, and champion. Together, they shared victories, strategies, and a vision for the throne. Yet at Harrenhal, Daemon's actions diverged from the plan, his loyalty fractured, and the consequences were immediate and devastating. For Rhaenyra and her supporters, this was more than a tactical setback, it was a profound emotional blow. To feel betrayal from someone you trust is to confront the fragility of alliances and the unpredictability of human ambition. But why did Daemon betray the side he had pledged to support? To answer this, we must examine the pressures he faced. Westeros is a land of high stakes, where ambition collides with loyalty, and where dragons are as deadly as political rivals. Daemon was not merely a participant in the civil war, he was a player with his own agenda, his own vision of what the Targaryen dynasty should be. His actions at Harrenhal were guided by a combination of personal ambition, strategic calculation, and a desire to assert his influence over the unfolding conflict. Let's delve into the strategic dimension. Harrenhal was a critical point in the dance of the dragons. Control of its armies, its location, and its symbolic weight could tip the balance of the war. By betraying the plan, Daemon disrupted not just immediate strategies but the broader trajectory of the conflict. His decision created confusion among Rhaenyra's allies, emboldened her enemies, and forced her supporters to recalibrate their approach under extreme duress. In war, timing is everything, and Daemon's betrayal shifted the timing of events in a way that magnified the chaos. But the betrayal was also deeply personal. Daemon's relationship with Rhaenyra was complex, a blend of familial bond, political alliance, and personal intimacy. In choosing to act contrary to her expectations, Daemon challenged not only her authority but also the trust they had cultivated. In the Targaryen world, where loyalty is both sacred and strategic, this type of betrayal cuts deeper than swords. It undermines confidence, fractures alliances, and forces everyone involved to reconsider their loyalties. Consider the immediate fallout. Harrenhal, under the shadow of dragons and political scheming, became a crucible of uncertainty. Lords and ladies who had pledged allegiance to Rhaenyra found themselves questioning the stability of their cause. Soldiers were thrown into confusion, with orders changing and strategies collapsing. This chaos was exactly what Daemon's actions produced, and it illustrates how betrayal in Westeros is rarely a private matter. It radiates outward, affecting politics, warfare, and morale across the realm. We also need to explore the psychological dimension. Daemon is a man defined by action and assertiveness. To him, hesitation and indecision are weaknesses, and loyalty is contingent on shared ambition. When he perceived limitations in Rhaenyra's approach or obstacles to his own influence, he acted decisively, even if that meant betraying allies. This psychological profile helps explain why his betrayal was not impulsive but intentional, a calculated move to reshape the war in ways he believed necessary. The council at Harrenhal, where much of this unfolded, was a gathering of the realm's most powerful figures. Every word spoken carried weight, every decision could change the course of history. For Daemon, the council represented an opportunity to assert agency and influence events directly. His betrayal was not random, it was a strategic assertion of his vision for the Targaryen dynasty. By acting independently, he demonstrated that the civil war was not solely about Rhaenyra's claim but also about the ambitions, interpretations, and agendas of the individuals within her circle. Now let's examine the political calculus. In a civil war, power is fluid. Loyalties shift, alliances fracture, and survival often demands pragmatism over principle. Daemon's betrayal at Harrenhal must be viewed within this context. By undermining the plan, he was not merely acting against Rhaenyra, he was positioning himself as a power broker, capable of influencing the conflict in ways that could enhance his own position, protect his interests, and potentially secure his legacy. Betrayal, in this sense, is both a tactical maneuver and a bid for historical significance. It's also important to understand the moral ambiguity of Daemon's actions. From the perspective of Rhaenyra's supporters, his betrayal was shocking, disloyal, and destabilizing. From Daemon's perspective, it was a necessary recalibration, a recognition of risks, and an assertion of agency in a complex conflict. The tension between perception and intention is central to the story. Betrayal in Westeros is rarely black and white, it is defined as much by the consequences as by the motives. The consequences of Daemon's actions reverberated far beyond Harrenhal. Key allies were alienated, the momentum of Rhaenyra's campaign was disrupted, and the perception of unity within her faction was fractured. In a war where perception is as important as force, this ripple effect was devastating. Historians and chroniclers of the Dance of the Dragons often cite Harrenhal as a turning point precisely because Daemon's betrayal introduced uncertainty, chaos, and a reevaluation of strategy across both sides of the conflict. Emotionally, the betrayal struck at the core of Rhaenyra's leadership. Trust is a cornerstone of command, and when that trust is violated, the consequences extend beyond immediate strategy. Leaders are forced to question their decisions, their judgment, and even the loyalty of those closest to them. Rhaenys Velaryon, Curlys Velaryon, and other key allies witnessed this fracture and had to adjust their approaches, illustrating how one act of betrayal can cascade into a multitude of challenges, both political and personal. Daemon's betrayal also reshaped the narrative of the Civil War. The Dance of the Dragons was marked by a series of strategic miscalculations, emotional conflicts, and shifting alliances, and Harrenhal stands out as a pivotal moment where internal discord directly influenced outcomes. By acting against Rhaenyra's plan, Daemon forced both sides to adapt, creating opportunities for the Greens, complicating logistics, and altering the timing of key battles. In essence, his betrayal did not merely disrupt one event, it shifted the trajectory